Ladies and gentlemen, live from Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. It's Wednesday or Saturday, and you know what that means. It's time for AEW Dynamite or Collision Event Center. And now here's the man that will bring you the happenings of AEW All Elite Wrestling action, Mr. Eric M. Lima. Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Eric Lima's Shenanigans of 1977, episode number 2140. No, episode 2150, ladies and gentlemen. This is the episode 2150 of Eric Lima's Shenanigans 1977. I know Collision just happened, just ended 2 hours ago, but I was on with chilling with Jordy, and I ended up talking to my good friends Jordy and Romy after the show. We were having some fun watching other videos and stuff, and so hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I had a wonderful day. That's right, the beginning of my vacation. I'm here alive. Everything on the eBay situation has been resolved, and thank goodness, and everything else in between. It's been great to be here. You know, I'm having so much fun here. And whatnot. So, I will, anyway, I gotta clean this shirt anyways. So, you guys have been wondering what the heck went on in Collision, and it's the final, remember, this is the final Collision before Dynasty later on tonight. There's lots of crazy stuff going on tonight. Sunday, it's already Sunday, April the 6th. April the 6th, AEW Dynasty, and then we got 2 Red Sox-Cardinals game. Now, the Red Sox game has been postponed tonight, but for today, as far as Saturday, was postponed. It will be a day-night doubleheader today, this afternoon. I'm still up. 12 o'clock in the morning. It's 12:07 a.m. April the 6th, 2025. I figured, did a lot of videos today, but I figured I'd keep going with this. So, we're gonna have some fun. I'm gonna have some fun about Collision. It'll start off with a tag team action as the Don Callis family's Fletcher, the Proto Star, and Konosuke Takeshita took on the very unlikely team, but possibly a great team, Powerhouse Hobbs and the conglomeration's Tomohiro Ishii with Rocky Romero in his corner. You know, that loud-mouthed, hot dog-headed goofball Don Callis on commentary, and the team of, it was a heck of a matchup of Fletcher and Takeshita won the matchup. The crew addresses Top Flight. The crew looks like a couple of Koopa kids on crack, and with those crazy suits they have with the spikes. And then they checked out confronting Nick Wayne. He said, you got to have permission for your daddy and all that. Nick Wayne is at a crossroads in his career right now, whether or not he would still be under the alliance of the patriarchy or go off on his own. It seems like Nick Wayne, but he's still a young kid with a bright future, though. That's one thing about Nick Wayne, so let's see what happens. And then Platinum Max Caster. Now, this took place in Peoria, Illinois, and Platinum Max Caster comes out to address the Peoria crowd and starts running his mouth as usual, and running his mouth as usual, and Mark Briscoe came out to answer the open challenge and ends up defeating Max Caster, or as I like to call him, Max Bastard. Hey, Platinum Max Caster, keep your mouth shut. We should give you the Run DMC award. You know, you talk too much, and boy, you never shut up, dude. Give it a rest already, man. You are nuts in the head, Platinum Max Caster. Or Platinum Max Bastard. Lexi Nair interviewed Jay White about being not in the Owen Hart tournament and being replaced by Kevin Knight and all, and he blames it on the Death Riders. He said the big mistake you made was give me some time off to plan, and when I come back, you're not going to like what you're about to see. So I'm kind of hoping, that Jay White and whatever he has planned makes the Death Riders pay, because the Death Riders haven't had that, death grip on the Trios title for a long time. Then Top Flight with the lovely Layla Gray. By the way, congratulations to Layla Gray and one of my newest followers on X, Luke Curtis. Now, I watched Certified Luke Curtis on OVW Wrestling. He's a former OVW champion. I believe he's also a former OVW. I know he's. I'm going to look at Luke Curtis. I know he's held the OVW title, but I want to see what other titles he's held. I know he's held a few championships. Okay, Certified Luke Curtis. What? What the heck? Mm. 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 So, let's see. Okay, certified. All right. Yeah, certified Luke Curtis did follow me. Does follow me on X, and let's see if I can. Okay. All right. He's a former OVW Rush Division champ as well. More. All right. Oh, come on. Jeez. Cheese and crackers. Give me a second here. More information. Oh. Yeah. All right. Let's see who's held any title. Career dated singles wrestler. He made his debut in 2021. I know he's a former OVW Rush Division champion. He's a former OVW Rush Division champion and a former OVW Heavyweight champion. And with Layla Gray, I'm sorry I got thrown off. It's crazy like that. Congratulations to the lovely Layla Gray and Luke Curtis. They got married recently. I think it was a couple weeks ago. And so congratulations to the happy couple. So they took on the Crew, and Top Flight and the Crew went at it, and Top Flight ended up winning the matchup. The Crew attacked after the matchup, and then AR Fox and Nick Wayne both got involved, which will lead into another matchup at 0 Hour Dynasty, a trios matchup. AR Fox will team up with Top Flight with Layla Gray in their corner against Nick Wayne and Crew. So what happens there. Lexi Nair interviewed Jamie Hayter and Billy Starks, and they were very cordial towards one another. As you know, the Women's Owen Hart Tournament is underway. Will be underway, starting at Dynasty, and so they both show a little respect to each other, which is pretty cool. Then Renee Paquette had a sit-down talk with Daniel Garcia and Adam Cole, and Adam Cole seems to be very, very hungry about becoming the TNT champion, and Daniel Garcia says, "Well, I might as well. We'll meet you there." So, and Adam Cole does have a lot of respect for Daniel Garcia, and but he says he's going to tell the truth, and he says you're not ready to run a company, you're not ready to do this, and and Daniel Garcia grabs the title and gets up and says, "Well, I'm going to be ready to whip that butt." So, at Dynasty, so he's trying to motivate. He's trying to motivate, Daniel Garcia. So I think he's doing a heck of a job of that. Cash Wheeler went one-on-one with the trios champ, Pac from the Death Riders, and during the matchup, Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta were about to get involved. And then Cope and Dax Harwood got involved. Hammer gets involved. Dax Harwood gets hurt, but Pac ended up winning the matchup. But then Dax Harwood felt like he's been frustrated, and Cope and Cash Wheeler held out their hands, and he grabbed their hands, helped them up, and gave them a hug, and got a group hug. See, they need to keep it together, and they'll probably do just that. And Kenny Omega addresses both Ricochet and Speedball Mike Bailey. And it looks like Shane Taylor and the Infantry were addressing the Ops to challenge him to a matchup, basically. Ricochet joins the commentary in the next matchup as Speedball Mike Bailey went up against Radlistico. Another person we had to congratulate is Ricochet. He recently got married to Samantha Urban. The former Samantha Urban, Samantha Johnson, over this past weekend as well. Congratulations to him. And over the past week. And Speedball Mike Bailey took on Drylistico, and Mike Bailey did win the matchup on a great matchup. Ricochet then attacked Bailey after the match, and Ricochet still got a few screws loose in that brain of his. And then let's see, they interviewed Chris Statlander and Thunder Rosa, as they also will face each other in the Owen Hart tournament, and they got a little testy with each other. You know, a few slaps, grabbing by the throat, choke slams maybe, and they kind of cooled their tempers down afterwards. So we shall see what happens. Mercedes Moné and Harley Cameron were still getting ready for the matchup, and Mercedes Moné had to bring the Moné puppet into this, and Mercedes Moné's kind of annoyed with Harley Cameron, as as Mercedes Moné and Harley Cameron took on the team of Julia Hart and Athena. As you know, Julia Hart and Athena will go one-on-one against each other in the right side of the Owen Hart bracket, while Mercedes Moné and Harley Cameron will go one-on-one also on the right side of the bracket of the Owen Hart tournament. And Mercedes Moné kind of walked out on Harley Cameron, making Harley Cameron eat the pinfall loss to both Julia Hart and Athena. So that is it for the Collision Event Center. Now I'm going to make my picks and predictions like I did on Rant and Rave, but I added a couple of more matches on here. So we get two men's Owen Hart matches and one women's Hart matches. Women's Owen Hart match. Excuse me. Yeah, I get screwed up sometimes. Sorry, folks. The women's Owen Hart matchup, Mercedes Moné, the current TBS champion, against former TBS champ Julia Hart. I'm picking Mercedes Moné to win this one unless Julia Hart resorts to spitting black mist in Moné's eyes, which I personally hope she does that. But then you get the men Owen Hart matchup, Ospreay versus Kevin Knight, who replaces Jay White at the hands because of his injury at the hands of the Death Riders. Ospreay is going to win that one. And then the tag team titles were on the line. The Hurt Syndicate versus the Learning Tree. Hurt Syndicate with Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin against Big Bill and the Bad Apple, Brian Keith. I picked the Hurt Syndicate to retain the matchup unless MJF screws it up for the Hurt Syndicate. Because I know Bobby Lashley doesn't trust him. I don't think Shelton Benjamin does either. But if MJF gets involved, he might screw it up. TNT title on the line. Daniel Garcia defending it against Adam Cole. And did I say Garrett Cole by accident? Adam Cole. And I picked Cole to win that matchup to become the new champ. Title versus mask. Chris Jericho versus Bandito. I believe Bandito is going to win the match and keep his mask and take the title. Trios title on the line, the Death Riders versus Rated FTR Death Riders. Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, and Pac versus Rated FTR. Dax Harwood, Cash Wheeler, and Cope. I picked Rated FTR to become the new Trios champions. The International title on the line, Kenny Omega versus Ricochet and Speedball Mike Bailey. Omega will retain the title. And then the AEW Women's title on the line is the lovely, gorgeous, curvaceous, timeless Toni Storm. Took on the equally beautiful and curvaceous, the Megasis herself, Megan Bayne. I'm picking Toni Storm to retain that over the very powerful Megan Bayne. The main event matchup, the AEW World Title, Jon Moxley versus Swerve Strickland. I got a hunch that Swerve Strickland's going to end up walking out with the gold. So, well, that's what I'm hoping. But I know Death Riders could be involved one way or the other. Trios matchup, Top Flight and IR Fox versus the Crew and Nick Wayne. I picked the Crew, Nick Wayne. They're going to win the matchup, I believe, because the Patriarchy could get involved in this matchup. Then there's the Max Caster, another Max Caster Open Challenge match. Who is going to challenge him? I think either one or two things are happening. I think Josh Alexander will probably prep for the Owen Hart tournament, but if he's the wild card, by taking on Platinum Max Caster, and I think he's going to beat Max Caster. Either way, whoever they pick, Max Caster will lose unless it's somebody easy for him to win, maybe. Because knowing him, he can be very unpredictable at that. Then you got the another men's Owen Hart matchup, Mark Briscoe versus Kyle Fletcher. I'm picking the young protostar to win the match as well. So the trios matchup and the Platinum Max Caster Open Challenge match will be on 0 hours. So there you go. So that's all the time we have on this show. Episode 2150, AEW Collision Event Center. Well, Dynamite is tomorrow. I'll tell you what happened. So don't forget, I'm on vacation all this week, and I go back on Monday, the 14th of April. And I think I got some stuff there's some stuff lined up for me when I get back to work. So I'm kind of hoping that this will be good. So I will see you guys later. You guys have a wonderful, blessed night. Have a good night, everybody. And excuse me, I got this crap to straighten out. So forgive me of the background. I'll promise I can make it better. Then I'm taking a shower. Then I'm going to sleep. So I got church. We'll see what happens. All right. So until the next episode comes rolling around, though, Mr. Announcer, please take us home. That is all for today's episode of the show. This is Mr. Announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E and do it for Bob Saget production and in association with a Raving Bull for 3000 Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. See you later on the next episode of the show. Goodbye for now.